Hello World Wide Web, I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality with the best hair. Last week we went off on the topic that I review cheesy horror films, even though I review a lot of different kinds of films, including cheesy horror. But you know what else I've reviewed a lot of? Fucking Seagal movies. My fault on that one, as it was during the summer of Steven Seagal, and the entire point was for me to get more acquainted with the man's work, which is practically a subgenre unto itself, what with his habit of writing and producing his own movies. They all have some very similar themes going on about him. And while it might have been a really bad idea to watch 12 of the damn things in a row, it's been over a year since the last time I've watched one, so I'm pretty sure I've calmed down enough to actually give a proper, objective review to Fire Down Below. Produced by Steven Seagal and Warner Brothers as part of their contract to produce many movies with the man, like Sonic Boom, Fire Down Below failed to appeal to consumers, and the contract came to an abrupt end with no desire from the parent company to renew. Well, that doesn't mean it's bad, though. I mean, I've reviewed plenty of underrated films on my show. None that star Steven Seagal, but anyway, what's the gist of this? Fire Down Below has Steven Seagal starring as Jack Taggart of the Environmental Protection Agency. Yeah, this is another flick merged with a Save the Earth plot. How lovely! I mean, it's not like I already watched how that turned out with On Deadly Ground. But they can't be that similar. I mean, just because a Spanish translation retitled this as On Deadly Ground 2 and presented it as a direct sequel, that doesn't mean anything right there. Anyway, let's take a look at Fire Down Below, and let me stop making excuses for this damn thing. The film opens to some old-timey black and white photos of random shit establishing, hey, this is set in the country. Then Seagal blue screens himself over a stunt double flying toward this movie's setting, getting the backstory over and done with as quickly as possible.
Frank Elkins was found dead this morning.
What?
That and 3 dead agents. 2 FBI a couple of nights ago, and now Frank.
Fucking hell, I know the protagonist's partner has a tendency to get killed off in these kind of movies just to add some kind of weight to the situation, but we're not even at the 2-minute mark. The opening credits have not finished! But poor old Frank, who we care about so deeply, his death is the last straw. Seriously, the 2 FBI agents never come up again. They weren't important. But Frank was, because he was Seagal's partner, and now Seagal must go on alone to finish the investigation he started. Well, it's a good thing to know this movie wastes no time on silly things like character building. It's going to make introducing all the players much easier. Point is, that investigation is trying to find out why it is there are super polluted water and soil samples by one small town in Kentucky.
Frank found out the Hanner Coal Company was dumping thousands of barrels of deadly toxic waste in abandoned coal mines.
We should just fucking tell us at the 3-minute mark. Guys, this movie is an hour and 46 minutes. What the fuck is left of the plot to find out? According to them, they have to send Seagal in to find the dump site and a witness who will testify. To accomplish this, Seagal meets up with his contact, Reverend Bob Goodall, played by Levin Helm. Thus, he can begin his dangerous mission to...
Mr. Mama said you might be thirsty.
fix some rickety-ass homes? I know tetanus is a bitch, but come on. Turns out their method of attack is the least direct and seems to be the most ineffective way possible, and Seagal has nothing but kids to grill for information about the site where they're dumping the toxic waste.
Her name's Rose, but she don't talk yet.
She don't talk yet? She kinda shy?
Yeah.
If only more characters were written so eloquently. But this is Seagal we're talking about, so shit even this fruitless somehow manages to work, as his family has one kid who got strangely ill after seeing a helicopter.
It's not a helicopter, this is a UFO.
That's what I thought.
It's only a UFO until you can identify it. That's a fucking helicopter. They might have all the goddamn answers anyway, but let's stop for now, so the movie can show us the fucking helicopter coming in and delivering barrels of toxic waste in clear view of everybody! How the hell have the characters not found this shit? They literally have giant flying machines going over, shining lights down on the area like, hey stupid, right here! And they don't know where to look? No, he's too busy buying carpentry supplies in the truck he's borrowing from Farmer Vincent. At least until he starts querying Cotton Harry, played by Harry Dean Stanton, who you probably recognize as Brett from Alien, which has now inadvertently caused me to fantasize about Seagal being attacked by a horde of xenomorphs. No, Seagal, stop beating him. No, acid blood's supposed to hurt. Acid blood's supposed to hurt! Which doesn't happen because a group of local miscreants firmly tells Seagal to stop asking questions. So he moves on to testing the water in the area, which they already established was tested by the previous guy. And I think we just discovered what's been contaminating it. The kid is seen and runs for his life as Seagal very leisurely strolls in pursuit, somehow ending up...
You picked a fine time to take a walk in our marijuana field.
Where did this come from? I thought we were still on the toxic waste being dumped in the mines by the helicopter that everybody can see but nobody can find. This scene exists merely to establish Seagal can beat all the asses without suffering any kind of damage. As if him being Seagal wasn't a big enough hint.
Watch him, boy. Don't let him do nothing wrong.
Isn't that the kid you were just chasing? Slowly walking behind, anyway. How the fuck did we get here? What the hell happened? I shouldn't get too caught up on it. It's never brought up again. Instead, we get to see how Secret Agent Taggart is integrating in this close-knit community.
We have a special visitor to our community. I want you to meet him now. This is Mr. Jack Taggart.
Kinda kills the whole secret part, doesn't it? After another scene to establish, again, this is the country with good old-fashioned country living. The audience is introduced to good old-fashioned country love interest, Marg Helgenberger.
That's a nice name.
Nothing says country living like Helgenberger. Well, seriously, she was born in Nebraska. Still, the movie felt it was better to name her something more country, Sarah Kellogg. Though around these parts, she's not known for her amazing breakfasts, but the deep, dark secret. Which, like most secrets in this movie, everybody in the whole fucking county knows. Except for Seagal. Because. So he does the logical thing and just shows up at her house, interrupting the woman tending to her army of bees. This goes, nowhere. Just how much nothing is going to fill this movie's running time. Suddenly a standoff with venomous creatures. Okay, Seagal, you've got a gun right there. Just shoot the damn things. Okay, you remember that thing I was talking about before about things being too ridiculous to even be mad at? This counts as one of them. Turning this assassination attempt against the local goons, managing to cause a serious accident and nearly killing innocent bystanders and law enforcement in the process, head goon Orrin Hanner Jr., played by Brad Hunt, calls up his daddy corporate goon Orrin Hanner Sr., played by Chris Christopherson. No, you're not seeing things. He is the man who played Whistler in the Blade trilogy. Here, he is the evil, money-making man who is in charge of the evil, corrupt, toxic waste-dumping operations and the owner of the coal mines. On top of that, he owns a casino, making him extra evil. Am I witnessing the rebirth of film Gris here? Point is, he wants Seagal dealt with quietly, much like the others before him. But Seagal is too busy trying to get into Helgenberger's lederhosen, so he does get to fix her porch, which means his stop at the Home Depot kiosk is certainly the most low-key, unseeable way to take care of this problem. In case you're wondering, no, the man doesn't even get hit for the entire movie. Unless you count this part where the guy almost kind of grabbed his arm as getting hit. Seagal deduces that these men must have been bought off by Scrooge McFucknugget, and from that figures the sheriff and his EPA contact Reverend Goodall are also in on it. Which is evidently true. Reverend Goodall is accepting money to keep his mouth shut, and yet is still helping Seagal on his investigation, and yet they're still paying him. Not to say Seagal gives a fuck about the toxic waste right now, instead investigating Sarah's backstory that her father died when caught in a fire in the old coal mine, which she was blamed for no fucking reason, and immediately found not guilty for, as there was fuck all for evidence. But the town still hates her for murdering her father and setting fire to the coal mine, because if there's one thing that social justice has taught me, it's that evidence is just another tool of the patriarchy. Hold on now, Cotton is letting Seagal in on the fact that he knows the man is a secret agent after the toxic waste, and tells him,
Young'uns are dying. It's been going on like this for months, and it's got worse lately.
Nothing he doesn't already know. Way to spend your running time, movie. Cotton says he didn't speak up earlier because you never tip your hand too soon if you want to win, which he obviously doesn't want to do anymore because he's perfectly fine taking a ride with Seagal back to his home so he can be ganged up on by the rest of the town and beaten within an inch of his life. Oh, hold on though, how the hell did they already know? I mean, I assumed that they'd see him in the car and then kick his ass, but they were already at his house waiting. When the fuck did Miss Cleo tip them off? Cotton's life isn't important right now. Seagal's love life is, which introduces us to our cockblock, Sarah's brother Earl, played by Stephen Lang. I was already confused as to where the hell her mother was, as they only established she has a dead father, but this is the first we have heard anything about this brother Earl at the 40-minute mark. Him showing up. But we have to establish character traits, don't we? Well, he's overly friendly to Seagal, but after the man leaves, suddenly berates his sister for hanging around dangerous men and daring to have a social life. So we're supposed to hate him. I mean, more than everyone else in this movie. And we're supposed to like Seagal, who finds Cotton barely alive and rushes him to the hospital just in time to save his life. When he finds out he's been framed for this attack... Okay, while he did let them know he was an EPA agent and outranks them, I still think that this activity counts as, resisting arrest? Thus, Seagal is fine, continuing life as if nothing happened, and receiving random gifts from the locals like their Megaton residents, continuing his investigation. Hold the fuck up! When the hell did this movie turn into Act 3 from The Duel? Okay, seriously, even if the guy was so stupid to not think Seagal was just going to move out of the way, why the fuck did he floor it when it was kinda obvious the cliff was not going to move out of the way? Having survived in a human manner instead of just punching the truck into orbit, we get to our environmental speech scene. Now knowing just how preachy this scene was in On Deadly Ground, one wonders how they can top that in this movie. Seagal walks into the church, gets the reverend to give the pulpit up to him, and begins to literally preach to the crowd about how a little money today isn't a good excuse to take away their children's futures. Oh yeah, did I mention everyone in town is fucking in on it? Every single person is being paid off by evil money man. Why are they in poverty and their houses are falling apart? Fucking stock market, I don't know. The speech is so rousing, the reverend tells him.
I realize church can't help nobody after they're all dead.
Isn't that the whole fucking point of a church? But on top of that, he's willing to testify. What luck. But that night is the all-country, country, dance, country, party country, so no reason to solve crimes right now. Let's boogie!
Fire! There's a fire up there!
That's the church.
Correction. That was the church. Now it's a village barbecue. Seeing the flames, nice guy who is actually an asshole Earl turns into a nice guy all of a sudden.
I'll take you to that dump site.
Giant flying machines with bright lights in plain sight! Why the fuck does he need a guide? He's Seagal! Continuing to be out of character for plot convenience, Seagal goes home to prepare, as if he would ever need to, and Earl takes his sister home. But oh no, nice guy turned asshole turned nice guy is actually an asshole!
You whore.
Yeah, why keep anything in this town secret for longer than 40 seconds? I know something really is in the water, but still, everyone is really fucking stupid! This transforms Earl into generic brooding villain, as he teleports around to destroy everything that Sarah loves.
I'm going to the police.
You just want to say anything else in front of him to make him try and kill you?
I'm going to tell them everything. I'm going to tell them about you. I'm going to tell them about Daddy.
Stupid motherfucker, stop!
Jeffrey, I swear to God, I'll kill you.
Yeah, well, you better not miss.
Better not miss with what? Nobody is armed! Don't worry though, he just stuffs her in a closet for the time being, before meeting up with Seagal to show him where the toxic waste is being dumped. But actually, he intends on cornering and murdering him alone, and far away from any witnesses. Or he does actually intend to show him where the toxic waste is. Does that make him a good guy turned bad guy turned good guy turned bad guy turned good guy? Nope, he's still bad, as Seagal points out thanks to his masterful detective skills.
See, my theory is, when she was a little girl, you were molesting her.
How the fuck did you come up with this? Where the hell was there any hint at all in this movie that that had happened? No idea, but this is the angle they're going with to make Earl the reason behind every bad thing that has ever happened to Sarah and most of the town.
Ain't you slicker than possum shit?
Of course, as Earl knows, evidence doesn't do a fucking thing to stop people from believing the lie that makes them the most comfortable. Also, this super secluded area happens to be swarming with the town's resident assholes, who unlocked the gate, got in, locked the gate behind them, and then hid amongst all the toxic barrels and just listened to the gossip instead of just shooting Seagal. You know what happens though, Seagal kicks all the asses and suffers no damage. Even when the mineshaft collapses and explodes early on, he still has more than enough time to slowly find his path and escape after it explodes, before it explodes. At this point, I'm just surprised he didn't walk into the flaming church and save the Reverend, or huff and puff and blow the flames out. After his escape, Seagal rescues Sarah. He then says the stupidest thing I've ever heard in a Seagal film.
I'll make a phone call and see if I can put you in protective custody.
Because obviously she wouldn't be safe with Seagal, now would she? This is just an extremely poor excuse to introduce yet another action scene, as these witness protection agents are actually evil bad guys too. So after wounding one and fucking up a gas station, Seagal takes the other out so he can show just how damn good he is at shooting things too.
Hey, tell your boss I'm coming to get him. You know, on second thought, I'll tell him.
Letting slide just how ridiculously precise that shooting was. It's a Seagal film, what do you expect? Again, like Demolition Man, that flame was more than close enough to ignite those fumes. But Seagal wins! The rich bastard is taken to court and fined. $50,000.
I made $300 million last year, and it only cost me 50 grand.
Excuse me.
So that's why it took 90 minutes to get here. The ending fucking sucks. Therefore, Seagal takes it upon himself to say, fuck the law, let's give this movie some bullshit feel-good ending. He starts by pulling out of his ass that his boss must have been in on it, and on the bad guy's payroll as well. Because...
You set up Frank, didn't you? I mean, if it weren't for you, they'd have never found him.
Okay, first of all, they deleted that scene. We never got to see him locate Frank's body. Second, if you did not want this taken care of, why the fuck did you send in Seagal? After getting his boss arrested, Seagal moves on to beating the fuck out of the goons in the bar until Dick Face Jr. agrees to testify against his father on the conspiracy to commit murder charges and what have you. This turns out to be fucking pointless, as when he goes to arrest the man himself...
That's fast.
Attempted murder, resisting arrest, yeah, you really don't need his son's help now. Just how the fuck many guns does this man bring with him to a poker game? Giving Seagal an excuse to shoot him, but only wound him, so we get the schadenfreude of knowing he'll rot away in prison on top of it. Now all that's left is for Seagal to give the love of his life the ultimate gift. Hundreds of tiny creatures enslaved for the benefit of harvesting their vomit as sweetener. You'd think as this place is contaminated in half with toxic waste, it would not be the first place you would want to settle down and have a family. But when you take into consideration that Seagal's hair gel naturally is a repellent for uranium, it does make a little more sense. Anyway, that was Fire Down Below. And fuck, it was a long movie. It clocks in at an hour and 45 minutes, but trust me when I say it feels much longer, and not in a good way. The biggest reason has to be the fact that the entire plot is detailed before the opening credits are finished. This leaves next to nothing of importance for the movie to reveal during its running time, and consequentially, it's an ass ton of filler. Not that it's completely horrid, mind you. Seagal's invincible fights aren't the most appealing to me, but I will admit that these were shot and edited pretty well, with only a few continuity errors here and there, and of all the filler were the parts that I look forward to the most. My biggest gripe is with the setting. I don't know if people who live in the country have this country pride about them. I mean, I live out in the country now, but I don't talk to anybody, so I still don't know. Thing is, I've seen more than my fair share of movies set in the country, and they tend to have similar themes and depictions of country living, which it seems a certain segment of the population does enjoy. I don't, but there's so damn many of these out there I can't deny a fanbase exists. To me, though, Fire Down Below is an irritatingly simple, ungodly long movie with next to no plot to speak of, and subplots so shallow they'd have trouble filling a shot glass. While there are parts to like here and there simply for the cheese, or for fans of the style, the overall package is still pretty damn weak. Coming in at 2 extremely fucking obvious helicopters, fucking hell, how do you not see that? Out of 5. Well, honestly, that wasn't so bad. I guess I did get over my oversaturation of Seagal. Does that mean I'm going to be reviewing another Seagal movie next week? Fuck no, it's Japan time. Thank you all for watching, I've been Shado, and remember, hit the brakes before you careen off the side of a cliff.
Where the hell do you want me to put it?
You mean where the hell you want me to put it?
What the hell are you, a goddamn parrot?